Here in this video, we will try to update or modify a list, um, changing all the negative integers or numbers entered in the list, modifying them or changing them to zero. Wherever there are any negative elements, they will be replaced with zeros. That's what we're trying to establish in this code. Here, first, let me just show you a couple of instructions. So this is the statement where I want to input some numbers, and I'll just try to enter four random numbers, and these numbers are being entered in the form of as a string input or as letters. I want to split them, and those will be converted into the number type. Okay, so just splitting them, they are now in the form of a list like this. So the user input is split using the split function, and that is now converted into the tokens. Okay, like individual integers or individual numbers are now stored in the tokens. So to print all the tokens, so converting them into integers, how can we do that? So we are creating one empty list. The name is nums. So iterating through all the tokens here through the list 1, 2, 4, and 5 in the nums list, iterating through all the tokens. We are just trying to add all the elements in the tokens list as you see in the name here, list name here, nums. We are trying to append or add all those tokens to the empty list nums using the append function, and those all the tokens are getting converted to integer type. So when I run the code, the nums is getting printed in this way. Okay, let me just comment all this. So it's one way of changing a list, a letter type or string type of list to number type. You can use the string casting also while iterating through the list. Now I will try to. Oh no, I have made some changes. Okay, let's do one thing. Here I want a nums list. Okay, yeah. So now when I try to enter the list elements now, here what do I need? Through the enumerate function, I try to print all the positions along with the values together. That you know already. Now what am I trying to do? I want to have all the elements in the nums list, and I will try to change all the values in the nums list. Wherever there is one negative value, I want to change it to 0. So how can we do that? So to iterate over the list nums, this is the list index variable num. So if each element in the nums list it's less than 0, then that will be replaced with 0. So let's see, after replacing all the negative values of the 0, are we getting those updated values in the list or not? So let me try to run the list. I will enter some negative elements, minus 3, 1 minus 3, then 5, minus 7, then 8, suppose. So see what is happening. I entered all the elements in the user input, then they got converted to integer type. In nums, now we have these elements. Now through the for loop, I try to print it the indexes along with elements. Now after trying to convert all the negative values into the 0, are we getting the updated values? The negative values here, see, they are not getting updated. Actually, what is the error here? We are trying to update the index position. Here the num means why, what we are trying to use this num index to iterate over the nums list. So if you're just assigning 0 to it, it will not convert it into the 0. We are basically trying to update the temporary variable, the index variable, which will not be able to update it in the list, replacing all the negative values with the 0. That's not possible. So how can we change it then? There is a simple change in the code. So rather than updating the index element, if we can use that index and use this type of notation. So if we have the nums is a list argument or list variable which have these elements in it, all the negative elements. So if I use each index with the num variable, so that particular index element through this notation will be now updated. Let me run the code. I will print it using the statements. So first it will update all the negative elements in all the negative element places, then it will change the list and print it in this new print statement. So let's run the code and I will um, try to enter some positive numbers along with also some negative elements. See, -5 and -1. When I enter it, first it printed all the elements, then through this statement here, yeah, because of this we are not able to change it. It's still the same. Now after adding this for loop if statement, we are able to change the or replace the zeros with the negative elements in the places. So this is how, through the for loop we can have a list and we can apply certain changes to our list. This is about to modify the list using the for loop syntaxes.